Us. Those of y'all who are joining in, let's tap the live and share the live. And share the link again. But we have a lot to discuss, don't we?
Ethan?
Yeah.
Ethan, it's pretty much like get your popcorn, right?
Oh yeah, it is. I
Am I
got my
right or am I right? I know I heard you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, have you been on here the entire time?
No, I haven't. I mean, y'all, I can't stay glued to the phone. I wish I could. Because I feel like every time I get off, the interesting stuff happens when I'm away. And then when I get back on, nothing's happening.
It's a little bit of
Now,
an addiction, maybe.
I was just sent a very interesting video. Those of y'all who are in here, let's get to 10K likes so we can get on the For You page, and let's try to reach our live goal. And if you're new, drop a follow. So earlier today, I went live to talk about Nick Harris because I had just learned who he was because I live in New Orleans, and he decided to take residency in the city I call home, which I was sent him by several of my followers as a warning. They said, if you ever see him out in public, because I stay around the French Quarter, do not approach him. So that's how I learned about him. And then every time he goes live, I noticed, there's hundreds, even up to the thousands, who come in there to watch. And it seems like everybody in the comments is just so angry. Thanks, Wendy and Sugar Baby, for the hearts. It seems like everyone in the comments, isn't a fan. It's not fan behavior I'm seeing down there in the chat. So I said, you know what? I wonder what would happen if I started a live and I put him up there on the background and we just decided to talk about it. And I heard what everyone else had to say because, over in his chat, most of the time the chat gets taken down. But over here, we're having a panel where y'all can come up and discuss. So I'm back on this topic again tonight because, as y'all said in the chat, he got kicked out of his hotel room. So why don't y'all elaborate on that? Who is this Fawn? Do you have anything to say? Who just came up here to the panel? No? Okay, if you're new, drop a follow. Now let's listen to this video I was sent by Lauren, and then I just invited her over to the panel. And those of y'all who know about what just happened, request to come up to the panel and let's discuss. Let's listen to this video.
So you can't do things live on TikTok. You can't do substances live on TikTok. It doesn't work that way. But now I need somebody to come pick me up, and now I have to go change hotel rooms. So I hope that was enjoyable for everyone. I hope everybody had a great time. I need to talk to somebody pretty quickly on Instagram or something because I need to go figure out another arrangement. But yeah, so this is pretty unfair that I'm having to leave my hotel room because people called the front desk and said that I was doing things that I wasn't doing, and that person's not asking for proof. He's just saying, hey, you gotta leave. So this is so unfair, guys. But I'm gonna need help now. And all I was doing was eating my food. But all right, I guess it's time for me to go. Yeah, so I need to go get another hotel room because they just called me and told me that I have to leave. Yep. So I need help now. Like, I absolutely need some help. Like, please help me. All right, guys. Talk to you on IG. This is ridiculous, man.
So let's get some people up on the panel to discuss what happened. Why'd he get kicked out of the hotel room? Who knows? Jules?
I don't know because I also was pulled away from my phone, but I'm interested in hearing. Oh, Richard, I
I believe
was wondering.
someone in the chat is offering to buy him a tent. Richard.
No, I think he was just saying that tents are free at Walmart or something, or you can get one at Walmart. I don't know.
Well, I'm volunteering, Richard. Can buy him a tent.
Oh, okay.
Hey, actually, he lives near. Where is he at? Where is he at? South Carolina or North?
South.
Well, I believe Richard's around there. Maybe you could let him sleep on your couch. Who knows about what went on earlier in that live and wants to come up to the panel and discuss?
Don't be shy. It's safe.
I was not on his live earlier. I was right there at first, but I had to tune out. But did anyone see him eating the? Y'all come up to the pan. Oh, here we go. We got this one from earlier. Now, who else wants to come up? I don't tend to make this a habit, but as long as it's interesting and it's something for us to talk about and people want to come up and share information, I can't help myself. Now, who was over there watching?
I saw him eat that chicken and I saw him eat that avocado. And I guess he got kicked out of his room.
Did you see the way he was eating that chicken?
Yeah. They called him from the office and told him he had to leave.
Okay, who in the chat has ever bought a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store? It comes in that plastic bag. He opened the plastic bag, stuck his hands down in there, and just started ripping pieces of the chicken off and just putting it in his mouth and eating it.
He said he worked on a chicken farm. He knew how to dissect a chicken.
I'm telling you, I've never seen, out of a 30-year-old man.
It's disgusting.
Now, why did he get kicked out of his hotel room?
Somebody called, I think. He was random.
How did they find out what room he was in? Or what hotel?
I don't know. He was just eating there and they called and they said, you got to go. So was like, I need help. I need help.
Did you help him?
No. No.
That's not very nice of you. Who else wants to come up to the panel to discuss? Earlier, we had his uncle on panel.
What did his uncle say?
From Texas. What did he say? Who remembers?
I didn't get the impression that they've spoken in a while.
Me either. Well, apparently, and this is just stuff that I've heard, I didn't think he had a very good family life. I didn't think his family was, very good to him. So, he has a picture of all the food he got to eat on Twitter. I'm looking at the rotisserie chicken right now. He had rotisserie chicken, sushi, 2 avocados, and then teriyaki sauce and spicy sauce.
You could make you could make a nice omelet like I used to make.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. Take care of the dog, okay?
I'm going to.
Oh, he said on live that
You
They
want
told him
some?
he had to leave because
Okay, give her one.
Walt.
Okay, Fix, here you go.
Okay. What'd you say, y'all?
he got a phone call saying he had to leave because someone reported something illegal going on, and he said, "I'm just sitting here with my chicken."
He said apparently you can't do substances on live.
Hmm.
In the video, he said that. What does that mean?
I don't
I
know.
think he tried to spin it into something saying, people called the hotel and I didn't even get to offer proof that I wasn't doing it. But
Yes.
for him to start by saying, apparently you can't do substances on live makes me think, yeah, he probably was. I don't know.
What
And
substance makes you eat like that?
that's a very good question.
Back in the '90s, I dabbled a little bit in crystal meth, and I'm going to tell you, it made my house.
Dabbled.
It what?
All I wanted to do was clean my house. I would tell you my
Well,
life's 5 minutes and be done.
well, this man
Eat.
is not clean. I mean, I don't even think he takes baths. So, who wants to join up to the panel to discuss? Oh, I'm looking at
See the one comment, Ethan?
what comment?
Apparently, Carly Reagan said his girlfriend called the room to make it look like that he was kicked out. They're both the scamming.
Wow.
Oh,
That rings true.
hmm.
I'm sure that he would tell her where he was staying. So it's like, how did someone know where he was staying? Mariah knew.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm wondering. How did y'all know
Sorry,
where he
Ethan.
was staying at?
No.
Because I'm sure there's more than one hotel in the area. And really, they would have to know. I mean, I guess they would. Well, maybe they could give his, but yeah, maybe they give his name, and they would have to do a name search. But
Well, okay, so my eyesight is bad, but Marissa,
Yeah.
back in the day, I used to dabble in calling hotels all across the city and ask for the name of I don't know, Brad Pitt, like if they're filming a movie in my city. So I think it may be easy to find someone, especially when they know the city. Unless if,
Oh,
Brad Pitt and I'm just throwing that name out there. They're going to use aliases or have protection or whatever. But
there's
Nick,
only probably 15 hotels at the most in the big city. You can call those and ask if Nick Harris is there.
mm-hmm.
Did someone check in today? They'll tell you.
are they?
It's the
They're really
Marriott
gonna
that
tell
won't.
you?
Well, the
Yeah.
Marriott won't, but the Red Roof will.
Oh, yeah,
Eh,
exactly.
well,
Touche.
The
well.
Red Roof, they're all owned, by foreign people, and they don't care. They don't.
I have some terrible people on my panel tonight. Got one who
Wait,
dabbles
what?
in calling around after Brad Pitt.
That was the
And
'90s.
That was back in the day, Ethan. I don't think you were alive.
probably not.
What I
When did you
miss?
Hi,
graduate?
Willow.
Oh,
What
thanks
I
a lot.
what I miss?
Nick allegedly got kicked out of his hotel today.
Do we know why?
Because someone called up to the front desk and reported him for doing stuff that he apparently didn't do. Here's the thing. If it was rug related, you'd think they would just call the police. The hotel.
Well, but if he's like at a red roof where all the other people that are alike are staying, I don't think they'd even want the police there. They probably had the police there every night.
But I would think that whatever
They,
they complained about, do you think that they're just going to listen to someone say he did something and not know if he really did?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Somebody's now saying it's a scam.
I really do. I think
No
that it
need to add
probably
him in the
is.
chat, Celia.
But they didn't say exactly what he was, they said he was doing? Or do we know?
Well, he said that they called the front desk and claimed he was doing something that he wasn't supposed to be doing on TikTok. And they didn't even ask for proof when they came to kick him out.
they didn't even come. They just called him.
I wouldn't have left.
That's why I don't think that. I think this is a scam.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's
If I
starting
worked
to
in a
sound
hotel,
like a scam.
I mean, if I worked in a hotel, I probably would call him and say, "Hey, I probably would say that so I wouldn't have to face him or interfere in what he's doing." But
I agree. I think that they would probably call the police, but
if he
the
wouldn't leave,
place, yeah, and the place that he is, I don't know where he's staying, but like what you said, as far as being like a red roof or something, they're not going to care if he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing on TikTok or not. But
yeah,
someone did say he was being really loud. I don't know. I think that it's probably a scam and a somewhat clever one to get us all talking about it.
he was moaning pretty bad when he was eating that chicken. He was
It's
kind of
cracking
loud.
me up.
Well,
I missed it.
I wasn't.
Thank God.
I wasn't watching it,
I would
so
not
I
let a
wouldn't know.
hotel kick me out
Girl,
for no
he
reason.
had that guacamole, that green vegetable. I can't even think. It was all over his hands. It
I'm.
was so gross.
I'm telling you, he took the rotisserie. He didn't even take the rotisserie chicken out of the bag. He put his hands in there and ripped it apart and started just putting it in his mouth.
Yeah.
And the avocado, it wasn't even guacamole. It
No,
was an
that's why I wanted the
avocado
avocado.
that he separated. He ripped it open, and then he made it into guacamole by taking it in his hand, mushing it, and then eating it.
Trying to get the pit out.
I watched him.
I couldn't
Thanks,
stop.
Jules, for the hearts. I mean,
He
once it
announced
got to the
that
guac
he
and
announced
the
Mariah.
sushi, go ahead.
Did he announce that Mariah's pregnant? Someone in the comments said he said Mariah's pregnant.
I hope not. For their sake, both of their
He
sake.
said, they're talking about earlier, what he said was, we're going to be making some babies. We're going to be having some babies. He didn't say she was pregnant. I think he was insinuating that this time he's going to knock her up. Oh, he did. Maybe I missed that part. He said, for real. For the baby's sake, it's real. I don't know. I wouldn't believe that a hotel kicked him out because someone said he was doing what he wasn't supposed to on TikTok. I'm wondering if that was staged.
I don't know. He gets an Academy Award for me because he was mad and he had to get off real quick.
I'm curious if anybody's seen the person that was at the door. Did he actually show them?
There was nobody at the door. They called him on the phone.
I wouldn't believe that. He's probably trying to get more money.
I don't know. Like I said earlier, I think they didn't really want to mess with him, and they probably called him. And if he didn't leave, then they were going to call the police.
It's possible, but I really don't believe it.
Well,
I mean, I've had some wild parties at the Red Roof, honey. I've
There
never
you
even had a
go.
phone call.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Like, he probably.
well, how many times did you get kicked out?
Never.
Hey, Ethan, those hotels are like 3 stars. It's hard to. Like, you'd have to be, like, doing something serious to get kicked out of those places. They let people deal drugs there, prostitute, name it. All that stuff is done in that kind of hotel. So I highly doubt it. There you go. See?
Yeah.
That's why it's like, there's no way. They could care less.
Yeah.
You're right.
Except they may have been bothered by the way he was eating the chicken and making guacamole on his face.
Yeah, that's possible, but that doesn't mean that the hotel called him and told me how to leave because of it. I bet you he did that thinking that people would feel bad for him and send more money. But it probably never really happened. Hey, can anybody check and ask if they could connect you to Nick Harris's room?
We don't know what hotel.
I don't even
They
know what
just said
city
Red Roof.
what city is he in. I'm sure I'm ready to take it.
He's where he was before he left to New Orleans. Where's that?
I don't know.
The NOLA.
Greenville.
So it has to be either Greenville or NOLA.
It has to be a hotel.
It can't
Well,
be too many
look
of them.
up. Now we talk about the Red Roof Inn. Y'all, what if he so happened to be in the Hilton or the Marriott? Why are we assuming it's a red roof?
Really? Do you see the room? Those curtains are from 75, baby. 1975.
Someone said
Somebody in the
Ecolodge.
I
chat
think
said
it's a Super
Ethno
7.
Lodge. Oh, they're saying it was an Ethno Lodge. Y'all need to
those
come up to the
Econo
panel. Come up to
Now,
the
wait a minute.
panel. Those of y'all.
Wait.
Hey, Laura.
Yeah, get up here, Lauren.
Laura's the one who sent me the video that I just shared with y'all.
Hey,
Did y'all
snitches.
hear it? Or do you want me
No
to play it
snitches.
again?
I didn't hear it.
Okay, hold on. Laura, come up to the panel.
There she is.
Okay, let's play this video. Okay, listen, there's really nothing to see. It's just him in the bedroom.
So you can't do things live on TikTok. You can't do substances live on TikTok. It doesn't work that way. But now I need somebody to come pick me up, and now I have to go change hotel rooms. So I hope that was enjoyable for everyone. I hope everybody had a great time. I need to talk to somebody pretty quickly on Instagram or something because I need to go figure out another arrangement. But yeah, so this is pretty unfair that I'm having to leave my hotel room because people called the front desk and said that I was doing things that I wasn't doing, and that person's not asking for proof. He's just saying, hey, you gotta leave. So this is so unfair, guys. But I'm gonna need help now. And all I was doing was eating my food. But all right, I guess it's time for me to go.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So
That's what I watched.
I don't think it's the Red Roof Inn unless they have a blue logo.
Oh, I was just coming up with a cheap hotel.
It's a blue logo. He posted a video of the.
Not Wendy learned about who he is. See, we're spreading awareness about who this guy is for those of y'all who don't know. And it's just interesting because he goes live on TikTok. Everyone in the chat, what happened to Lindsay? Who's going to come up to the panel and discuss some more information with us?
Well, let's think about this. If
Motel
this was
6 has
real
blue.
and he really got kicked out, what would he be doing right now? He'd be on live, crying and whining and, trying to get people to send money. Can anybody check and see if he's live?
He'd be
He always
screaming and crying.
I was just on his page. That's how I saw the video.
Vanessa
He's not
says that
live.
she lives 50 minutes from Greenville. Vanessa, are you volunteering to go pick him up?
Do you have an extra room for him? He's not live. See? He's just looking for money.
he might be on Instagram though.
Yeah, because he was asking everyone to go to his Instagram.
Hold on, I'll go
All
check
right,
right now.
somebody go check. Now,
Someone said I'm downtown and I'm hoping to never run into him.
well, I'm telling you, I just found out. Some of y'all have been watching him for years. I just found out who he was a week or two ago. And I found out who he was because Willow sent him to me as a warning in case I saw him because I stay around the French Quarter
He's
of New
not live
Orleans.
on Instagram.
Yeah, because Ethan's that nice guy that if he sees that someone's hungry, has no food, they're homeless, he would be the first one to jump up and say, hey, let me get you some food. So that's why I wanted him to know that if he sees them, back off, don't go by him, he's trouble.
Well, the first time I talked to Willow, I said, I have an empty couch. Maybe I could let him come. And she said, no, no. So that ended that conversation.
I mean, I would feel bad if I was there and I knew he had no food, but I wouldn't give him no money or nothing like that.
Hi, True Crime Re. So, who else wants to come up to the panel to discuss?
What did y'all think about his purple hair? It's not purple anymore, but
He
What
probably had that
happened to it?
shampoo
Like,
on.
how did it become
it
undone so
washes out.
quickly?
It's
I
a
mean, those
washout, good
colors,
shampoo.
those colors don't stay in your hair very long. So it was like what, a week or two. He looked ridiculous.
All that dancing, sweat, and it all came out.
Was it the dancing or was it him getting in all those fights?
Exactly.
I'm normally just a silent watcher on TikTok in general, and I have seen this man come across my For You page more times than I can count on my hands and toes. And every single time I have seen him, he's not even in anything but boxers. Like, sir, do you understand that there are children that are on this app?
Clearly, he doesn't.
Hey, Ethan, did you see the video I sent with the cops going after him?
No, I
I
need to
sent it to
look
you on
at it.
TikTok. It's on TikTok Messenger.
I'm telling you. Disturbing, disturbing, disturbing.
He calls them shorts. No, he really does call them shorts. They're not shorts. Those are undergarments, and you need more clothes on than that because you have nothing to show to begin with. and you're sitting here flaunting it for all these children.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you know, the first thing he said when he was allegedly getting kicked out of his hotel room was, I need help. I need help. And mind you, this morning when he hosted his live, he said that he is now working on a men's shed idea, which is going to be and I asked him this when he popped up on the guest box earlier on my live. I asked him, what is this men's shed going to be? And he said like some kind of like transition home. Hold on.
I'm bothered by the word shed.
I am too.
I think that
Like,
I think he's trying to do a play on the woman shed. What is it called? My
It's like the
sister-in-law.
woman's house or something like that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I think he's going off of videos like when they talk about a she shed. Or
That's what I meant. I said woman, but yeah, she
that's
shed.
okay. Mm-hmm.
we call them
I've seen a
bitch barns in
comedian.
Missouri.
Instead of saying man shed, he should have said he shed.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard in Missouri.
Well,
You've got a
it's
local
not, but
Missouri.
it's not like it's supposed to be some like charity where he said that all of his followers, which I would imagine that's all of you here, would be his investors, and you have to invest into his what is it called? Men shed.
Is it like a 12 by 10 or
Oh no, I think what
Actually,
it is,
believe
it's
it or
a
not.
ploy. It's a ploy.
I
Yeah,
think it's
but
a dog
some-
kennel.
Wait, hold on. Some sheds are actually big. I don't know if anybody here follows Dina Blizzard. She actually did it as a joke. She bought one of those sheds with the windows, and they gotta be at least 12 by 14, whatever. But she joked about it with her kids when they pissed her off. She's gonna send them out there. She put up a fan, she put a little TV in there, a futon, you know, and maybe that's where you got the idea from.
Well, there's no. I mean, if it's supposed to be like a transition home for men, hold on.
is it going to have electric?
If it's on a campground.
He's got to get clean first before anybody's going to want to be around him.
Yeah, no.
Well, he said that
He
he's
doesn't
going to be a
need
role
that.
model, that he's the face of this.
Okay, but how can you be a
idea.
role model whenever you have ruined your public image completely? Like that just makes
Well,
no sense.
clearly he doesn't
It's
see
the
it that
drugs
way.
talking.
He says that he doesn't need rehab. He needs motivation. And he feels like this will motivate him to stay clean.
Go to the
He's full of,
gym.
you know what? That
You're
didn't
such a
work. He's been doing that.
yeah, you're such a
That didn't
gym
work.
rat. You swear by the gym. Go to the gym. If that doesn't work, then you need more help than just something that you can provide for yourself. But then whenever those people want to give you that help, he sits there and rejects it.
Guess what? He was kicked out of 2 gyms already, I think. Definitely one that he was going to, he was kicked out of where he is now. That's not the
For
first time he was kicked
what?
out of a gym. Because he would always be with the camera. He always had that camera going. People didn't want to be seen
For
on
what?
his lives. People were going to
He was
there
obnoxious.
and talking about the abuse that he was doing to Mariah, how he was a drug addict. There was a lot of different reasons.
And what he's doing is he's pulling in people that hear only those words, and they're going to send him money, and it's not going to get spent on any man shed.
Well, here's the thing. How can he even, if he doesn't even have a home, how is he going to be able to run a business or a nonprofit or anything like that?
He's not.
Has anybody got an answer for that?
You can't. I mean, he's clearly not stable.
And
I mean, he sits there and talks
here's
about.
another thing. Living off TikTok and living off begging people for pennies and dimes isn't very sustainable long term, because what do you do when somebody doesn't give?
He goes and begs somebody else.
That's the
Well,
thing.
wait a
It's
minute.
like if
Am
somebody
I?
comes. Sorry,
I'm
Will.
not big with TikTok, but I thought you make money from having a large following and just going live every day. Am I wrong about that?
There's a lot more to it.
Somebody just said he's on Instagram.
Look, Ethan,
Live.
can you look at your computer?
Like you
Yeah,
make
but
money
what's
on
the
TikTok through
username?
gifts and through
It's probably Nick
battling.
Harris.
And if you get enough, if you get
What's
like
the username?
20,000
Do y'all
likes your
know?
first,
It should be Nick Harris. Nick Harris. Unless, can someone in the chat put his at or Instagram?
Was anybody
But I
on
think
that live of his that he did whenever he was like talking about how he said, I just need chat to make a decision whether I buy the bus ticket or not? And then he was like out in the hospital hallway causing so much ruckus that they literally like
yes,
made him go back into his room.
someone says King.Conquer 504.
that's rich.
I hope people understand. I don't. It's we're not like. Well, maybe sometimes we are ripping on him because sometimes it seems so obvious how manipulative he's being. But everyone who is in recovery or is seeking recovery deserves to have, the support of loving people around them. But I just really don't think that he's in that position right now. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's past
active.
that.
Yeah, he's active in his addiction, and he is just thinking of ways where he can get. I need more money.
Well, I mean, he
So
sat there and also talked about how he had to change jobs again because he didn't have the money to provide for himself. If you're dancing, how do you not have the money?
right.
Like that,
Well,
I
maybe
know plenty of dancers that make plenty of money. I mean, you granted you have to look good and you have to not be crazy and not have a bad social page, but still, I mean, I still just don't understand how how he struggles as hard as he does.
he has a teeny weeny.
Well,
I mean, maybe.
somebody sent me. Okay, well, somebody sent me a photo earlier of him wearing a very slim to nothing undergarment with several dollar bills hanging out. Like it was all dollar bills. So I think the dancing might be successful.
Well, how
He's
many dollar bills? Three.
Judging from all them dollar bills, it was several. I mean, I didn't sit there and count them. It was that many.
Hey, Ethan, that's probably
Go look
when
it up.
that was probably before he got to this point when he was clean and bulk. I highly doubt now.
he sits here and says that he's been dancing for God, I don't even remember how long he says that he's been dancing for, but he says he's done that since he was a teenager. So you would hope he would had some experience by this point, right?
Well, either you got rhythm or you don't.
No, literally. I love that. Either you got rhythm or you don't, honey.
Uh,
I always say that, right, Ethan? Either you got it or you don't.
I mean, I have to say he has a really nice
Yep.
body, but and he's worked very hard on it. So you got to commend him on that. I'm really tired of looking at it, and
Yeah.
That face. Ugh.
That face is terrifying, bro. He doesn't even need a mask for Halloween, honestly.
I
All
was
right,
gonna
let's
be him
be
for
nice. We
Halloween.
don't want to get. We don't want them to get us on bullying. So we got to be careful on talking about his appearance.
Okay.
I guess if you say we have to be nice, gosh.
I'll see you
We
in
could
church
talk
on Sunday,
about.
Willow.
We could talk about the
I'll be
mayhem
there.
he's putting everybody through, but we're not gonna go like he's ugly or things like that. We're
There's a
just spreading awareness on his nonsense fraud scam that he's doing.
Well, I
Right.
just want to know the story. I want to know the story because I've been seeing this on my TikTok and I see all of everybody in the chat, and it seems like no one in the chat likes him, but everyone flocks over there to his live. So I was just interested to know, where did he come from? Because he's only got 20,000 followers on his TikTok account here, and he gets like, over 1,000 views every live.
You can't help but to watch.
You can't help but to
Well,
watch the stupidity,
It
honestly.
it's like a
Yeah.
it's like a almost like a car crash, or it is like a car crash.
Like a movie
You just
series.
yeah, you can't help but stop. Like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
It's a
Why do you
train
think
has
wreck.
he
he
does
always
it?
It's a train wreck.
has he just started out this terrible or what?
It's always been like this since I found him, and I've seen him for over a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, before that, when he was in his apartment, he was
With
working and he was doing good at one point when I first started hearing about him. But he was a bully as well, like pushing Mariah around and, just treating her like making her feel low. And,
He strangled her. I mean,
And was
he
arrested,
strangled.
wasn't he?
He spit in her face. Yeah. I mean, she's just stupid too.
yep.
She's just as guilty as he is. I mean, because she keeps going back. She keeps allowing it to happen.
Yeah, this is the same dude, but the people in the chat that are thinking that she beat on him, there's proof that I'm not saying he never did, but there's proof about those videos where he has black eyes were not because she was cold cocking him. It was because she was flipping out, I guess, having what you guys call manic episode, throwing fists in the air, and every time she threw a fist in the air, he'd throw his hand or his face into that fist to make it look like she beat him. And then, even when that wasn't the case, he would sit there and taunt her for hours until she snapped. Not saying that physical abuse is okay, but they're both need help. That's the way I'll put it. One isn't better than the other. They're both bad.
Yeah, they're both toxic, especially together.
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, he just started coming up on my FYP for whatever reason about maybe 2 weeks ago. So I'm trying to
Lucky
figure
you.
out what he's about.
Run.
Is he a scammer? Is he a
Yes.
beggar?
Run.
Look
He's
up.
a beggar.
Look up Fit with Nick, and you'll find out everything you need to know about him on TikTok.
I just saw Crime Talk, especially with the yellow. I'm like, oh my God, who did he murder? But okay.
If you're new,
He didn't
drop a
murder.
follow. I talk about true crime every night.
Who was that said that?
That's
I said he didn't murder. Oh,
oh, that was Ethan.
No, I followed Ethan, but
yeah.
someone else said drop a follow. So.
That was Ethan.
Oh yeah, no, I already followed him. So yeah, no, it was. I just saw him. Like you guys said, like good looking. His hair was pink. I think he said he's been a dancer at gay clubs for a long time, which makes sense. in my, well, at least,
Be
you know,
careful.
in my world, yeah, there are a lot of straight dancers at gay clubs. Absolutely. So I'm just trying to figure out what he's about. He just was coming up randomly, whether it's his lives, which I would see, but then I saw he was in an ICU. I'm like, that's not an ICU. Like, I took care of my mom for years before she died. Like, that's not an ICU, especially if you're sharing a room with someone. But
That
he had
may
a
have been a
black
psych
eye.
ward.
Oh,
Hair junkie, I would be very careful. He is a scammer. I just feel bad talking about anyone in this way, but it's
He's an
like
addict and and a
he's very
narcissist.
active in his addiction. He's a narcissist and extremely manipulative. And Hair, these are the things that I was talking about earlier. It's like somebody just sees like a little tiny portion of what he's doing and they get kind of sucked in because there's always like something that he's doing. You know,
He's got a record a mile or more long.
oh
For
yeah. Well,
all
even
kinds of
seeing
stuff.
what was coming the past couple weeks from the FYP, immediately red flag. Like, I'm like, he's a creep. So I totally got that. So I'm like, okay, he's a weirdo. That's fine. But I'm like, okay, what is the issue? I saw the ICU live and
So
just weird
basically,
stuff.
basically what happens with this man is he takes the littlest thing and makes it the biggest issue to see if he can make a bazooka of money on it. So, like, for instance, tonight he posted that he had gotten that his neighbor or somebody on the live, a troll, had called the hotel he was staying at and got him kicked out. Okay, well, let's use like our brains and let's like use people that aren't on rugs, and let's think, okay, how hard is it really to get kicked out of a hotel? Like, what had you have been doing? So he got kicked out of his hotel and within minutes was hopped on TikTok posting videos begging, and I mean begging. Go look up his account, begging for money. Help, I don't know where I'm going to stay. I have nowhere to go. Like, genuinely, if you can do yourself any favors, don't send that man a penny. A penny. And that will serve everybody so much justice.
I see. Yeah, no, I'm not sending him a dime, haven't, but he just was popping up while I'm at work. I'm on a break. I'm like, well, who is this guy?
Don't waste your
Yes,
time.
like you guys said, you know, he's okay looking, nice body, but I'm like, okay, is he an FAG? Is he not? Then I'm like, oh no, he just dances at, you know, gay clubs and allegedly had a girlfriend or something, but I didn't look too much into it, just what was coming across. So I'm like, oh, okay. Interesting. But as soon as I saw him, though, like, at least I read energies. So I'm like, creep. But I'm like, but that's not it. Like, what else? What else is going on, I guess?
Something is seriously wrong here, and I feel like some people on the internet are enabling the bad behavior. And
Well,
I feel
like, if
like
they
he's
don't know anything about him, he is good looking. So I could see people, women and men, sending him money. Like, you know, I haven't seen too many of his lives. Something about an ICU, something else. Like, but to me, I'm like, oh, wacko. Like, seems like a weirdo. But he kept showing up for whatever reason. I didn't friend him, nothing like that. I didn't like any of his videos. It just kept popping up. I'm like, why does this keep popping up on my feed? Who is this person? And then it came across your live. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the same guy I've seen for the past couple weeks. This is crazy.
yeah.
I mean, he even went to the extent of saying that Mariah was pregnant at one point in time just to get more money. And that is also on the Reddit if you wanted to look into that.
Oh, I've said the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Hey,
I don't.
Ethan.
Oh,
Hey,
go ahead, sis.
oh, sorry. I don't
Hi.
want to take up too much of your time. Thanks for letting me up. I just wanted to say a couple of points. I really struggle coming out, and there's a difference, right, in between being just a general asshole and being a narcissist. And I think that we live in a culture where the term narcissist is way overused. So I've come up here a lot of trepidation in coming up here and saying what I'm going to say. But this dude is a full on narcissist. And people need to understand that platforms like TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all of these platforms, especially where you can go live and get all of this attention, they love the attention. It doesn't
Bingo.
matter if it's positive or negative, they
Yep.
eat it up.
So earlier today, we were on talking about the same person. And sis, I absolutely agree with you. I had a run in with a truly diagnosed narcissist with cluster B traits, sociopathic behavior. And that is Nick. He is dangerous.
Very much so. Very much so. And I think that there's a lot of people that want to be very empathetic and want to try to always see the other side, the good side, the positive side of people. This guy is dangerous. He's a narcissist, a full on. And for those of you that don't know, listen, I'm not a therapist or a psychologist or anything like that, but I've been in a relationship with what's called a covert narcissist. I was for 28 years. And when you fall down that rabbit hole and you really research and learn, there's a lot of different types, right? There's communal narcissists. They'll use, those are the people that use God in their narcissism a lot. There's somatic narcissists, which is what we're dealing with here, right? The ones that care very much about their appearance. They want to go to the gym, all of those kind of things, right? He presents all of that. I blocked this guy a long time ago. There's all different types, and he fits the stereotype of a somatic narcissist. He's dangerous, and I have kind of a split opinion on even kind of giving him this kind of attention. Part of me thinks that we need to bring awareness so that other people who aren't aware can stay away from him. And the other part, I saw him, I don't know, it wasn't this live, it was live earlier today where he was part of it, and he was eating every bit of the attention up. He loves it.
He's getting energy from it. That's what they do.
Yes.
And he's very triggering to like people like me and probably to you, sis. It's like I like fight as far as like giving him this amount of attention too, because he feeds.
Look at the fact that I don't know if you guys follow Joey Bedes or not, but he's also another fitness creator, and he does mukbangs. And Nick was in there last night saying that Joey's Twitter is fire and all this other stuff. And so right there is like him getting that attention. And then tonight you saw him with a rotisserie chicken and sushi and an avocado. Like, that is a mukbang. So like, is he trying to steal other people's content? What's the true deal?
Well, I think he'll do anything for attention. It doesn't matter what the shtick is.
Absolutely.
And to Hair Junkie, I think that's your name. I can only see part of it. Hair Junkie. You were talking about you got like these certain vibes off of him. A lot of these people that are like him are very closeted. And so you'll find a lot of women who've been in relationships with people like him that are very surprised to find out that their partners are very much
believe he's
closeted
straight.
homosexuals. And I think that he
I
absolutely
believe
is.
he's straight, but I believe it would be in his mind he's straight. But yes, I believe he's done a lot of things with a lot of men.
Yes.
But in his mind, he is absolutely straight because he's putting that aside, going, no, that's just work.
Yeah.
Work only. But in his mind, he's straight. But no, I don't believe he is.
No.
That could
Absolutely
be
not.
due to his fear of Hair Junkie. I don't know if you happen to fall in the category of LGBT or not, and I'm not turning that into this, so please don't think that. But I am LGBT myself, and like the fact.
Yeah, no, I'm an FAG.
Okay, absolutely. I 100% respect you, and I love the way you put that.
Amen.
But you know, the thing that I run a problem to is, okay, is he closeting himself so that he gets the most support that he can? Because as a LGBT member, we know that we don't get very much support. So is he afraid to be his true self because of that? Because he's like, oh, I won't get those extra 30 cents. I need those 30 cents to pay for my room.
Right.
You know what I
No, I
mean?
think
Like,
he acts like it. I think, there's guys, that's why, like, he gave me a vibe like, ugh, he's a creep.
yeah, like keep
Because he
your
wants
kids
to
away from
be.
him.
Exactly. He's a weirdo, but he wants to present himself as straight. But yet he's like, no, I do all these. I'm a go-go dancer, all these gay clubs, and I think he's gay for pay, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he really is straight, but he likes the money that comes from the gay side, if that makes sense.
Really, like, it has no difference, straight, gay, I don't care what you are. That is not what this is
Yeah.
about. What this is about is the fact that
Correct.
he's making this image that's not true. And it's horrible, like like I
Correct.
said earlier, these children are seeing this, these young adults are seeing this, these high schoolers that are, going to school, they're like, oh, well, I can beat a woman, he does, and he has following. And that's not okay. Like, that's why there's so much abuse and even neglect in a household, like it's horrible. As a kid growing up with my mom, she was very narcissistic and very manipulative. So again, it just like Jules said, just like Sis said, it is very triggering to sit here and watch this, and it really does hurt your soul to give him just this much attention. We're not
Well, and
giving
there's a lot of
money.
people that are asking things like, are any of you licensed psychologists? Where do you get your knowledge from? Knowledge and education comes in a lot of different ways.
It's called
And
common
sometimes it's
sense.
just by merely living it and having the experience of it. And I will take advice from somebody who's lived it all day long over a therapist who only read about it in a book. Okay?
I'm gonna just say this: you're speaking to somebody that is clinically diagnosed, and to you people in the comments, I'm not trying to start nothing or anything, but unless you have the guts to come up here and say something with your chest, just be quiet, please,
Amen.
please.
And I think that everyone
Yes,
on
amen,
this
Haley.
panel, everyone on this panel is very articulate, maybe educated. I don't know, but yes, it's what we've lived, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, sis.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you. I appreciate that. If
Yeah,
you've
there's
not lived
something
through this
wrong
kind of
with him
abuse,
mentally. You
if
can
you've not been
tell
in a
it.
relationship with somebody like this or lived this kind of abuse,
Amen.
and I lived it for almost 30 years in a committed relationship with somebody that I thought I loved very much, you have no room to speak on this topic. None.
Amen. I've lived it for almost 40 years, my
Oh
whole
my
life.
gosh.
So
Oh,
I
hair
get
junkie,
it.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm just saying I get it. As an FAG in the straight world, putting up with narcissists, people like this that don't
Yeah.
want to be labeled anything. I totally understand the whole situation.
And then
I
like,
get it. I get it.
what is this gremlin type thing that he does when he's on his lives? Is it like him like withdrawing or what? Because he like sits there and like, I'm not gonna impersonate it because it is atrocious, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like,
Well, I've
oh my
only seen a
lord,
few, but
stop.
he's gross.
Just all the
He's
way around.
gross. And he's going to use the GAY agenda to further him, knowing, oh my God, especially these younger
Yo.
gay men, absolutely he's going to use, and he is. It seems like he is, because I'm like, oh my God, because I'll see some of the comments. I'm like, oh dear, that's what I'm going to use the gay agenda, and they'll support me, and they will. Especially if they have issues or just coming out or don't know what to do, they will support him. Absolutely.
He was on live in the hospital like 3 or 4 days ago. It's whenever he was in NOLA still. He was like, don't worry, ladies, there's plenty of Nicholas for all of you. Like, sir, we don't want you. We actually quite literally want you to exit this platform. So please do us a favor.
Correct.
Like, he was literally walking up and down the hallways saying, I know you want me, you can't have me though, like all this stuff. Like, bruh, quit being weird.
And to Boogie in the comments seems very upset. No, I don't know him. I don't want to know him. I've seen enough online. I don't need to get him to know him any further than what he puts out there for all of us to consume and see on a daily basis. That's why I blocked him months ago. But now he's coming back up in my feed again. So if he wants to put it out on social media, expect for people to have commentary and opinions and thoughts about it. And if you don't like that, honey, I'm sorry about that. That's a you problem, not an us problem.
Amen. She may be a follower, or she hasn't been with him yet, but she wants to. But of course, some of his, I didn't even know he had supporters.
Yeah, I'm gonna back sis on that. He had a good childhood. It's just an act for TikTok. Hey Boogie, if it was an act for TikTok, don't you think he would have gotten tired by now? It's not an act, it's his lifestyle. That's what he does for a living. Apparently you haven't been in enough of his lives to catch on to that just yet.
Yeah, I can definitely guarantee just seeing what I've seen, he's definitely gay.
Family. Boogie, your family? Come up and prove it. If your family, come up and prove it then. We don't care if you are either way, our opinion's still going to say the same, that he's abusive, he's a narcissist, and that he's a horrible human being.
Because can you invite them up?
Do what?
Invite Boogie up?
If Ethan? Invite Boogie up, Ethan. I mean, they're sitting there saying that that they're family. Let them talk. You can type a lot. Where's your voice?
And if this is all an act just for TikTok and for social media, that makes it even more disgusting.
Go be an actor. If he's so good at acting, go be an actor then.
Yeah.
Go get a real job.
Because if this is an act, he's triggering the hell out of a lot of people who've lived for years with narcissistic abusers.
I don't know how to come in, guys. Hit the multi-guest button, Boogie. It's literally right next to the comments where you're typing away.
It's pink and blue to the right of the comments.
He could be a great actor, Boogie.
Yeah.
And perhaps he could, but being a narcissist and being abusive is not an action. No. In fact, that's a disability. It's a sickness that needs help.
Oh, there's Boogie. Oh.
Am I in?
You're in, Boogie. We hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he is my nephew.
We're not saying that he's not family. That's not at all what we're saying. We're just trying to get to the bottom of why and who and how this makes any sense. Negative impact. Do you really want your life to be like that? You know what I mean? Like
we have multiple times.
But so what's your experience?
This is how he's making his living. That's how he looks at it. I'm making my living, but he's really not. When you guys see him on here, he's really not like that in person.
Okay, Boogie, but here's my question for you. If this is all an act, it's all a persona, right? He's coming on here just to make money, as you say. It's a job, which I find a joke. But that's here nor there. A lot of people come on here and make money and support themselves and all of that. You do you. You don't find it disturbing that there is a shit ton of women out there and men, frankly, who have been through this kind of abuse, and that's what he's portraying out there, and the amount of lives and people that he's triggering, all to make a coin? That doesn't bother you?
I didn't say I didn't agree with that. I was just saying that y'all don't know the real person. Everybody in this world has issues. I did not say I didn't agree with that. But I am just saying that this is how he makes his money at times. He does. He is a very hard worker. I am in his hometown. He just recently went to New Orleans to try to make better money to where he didn't have to do this.
Boogie, can I ask you a question? Does anybody in his family try to counsel him or encourage him to go get an actual job or to stop coming online and portraying himself to be a narcissistic abuser? Does
No,
anybody talk
No,
to him and
no,
say, maybe
not
this is
really.
not a good idea?
no,
Not really.
no, and that's
Because,
not their
because now,
responsibility, sis. Love you for that.
me
But
and
Hey,
I
wait a
just
his,
want to
minute,
hear from
Boogie.
Boogie. What Boogie? What is your if this is your nephew for let's just say the past few years, 5 years? What is your experience knowing him from when you knew him until he left? What is that experience like?
okay, he didn't live here for many years. He came back. Me and my husband have been back in his life for about 2.5 years. He's a really, he would help anybody. He actually worked for us. It's not the real him.
Boogie,
So
can I
He's just
ask
one
you
of those
he's not
creators
like
that,
this when you
Hold on,
interact with
hold on,
him in
hold
real
on.
life. He's not like.
no,
Hold
ma'am.
on. I just need her to
No,
understand
ma'am.
something before we go any further. Boogie, do you realize that there's a strong possibility that he is watching? I don't want you to be
Yes.
put in a bad
Yes.
situation. Okay, I just
Yes.
want to make sure
Yes.
that you're
Yes.
safe and that you're
Yes.
okay with that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry
I'll
if
tell
I
you straight
interrupted
up, he is
anybody.
a good person.
No, Willow, I think that was a really good question.
Absolutely. Back you on that, Willow. Good job.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. And he's asked me. I would comment on some of his stuff. And he wouldn't point out who I was because he didn't want people to come at me. But then when I seen this, I'm like, this is you just. It was nothing but bashing. So I felt like I had to comment something.
Say something, which totally makes sense. So what is your? I guess you can only speak on what is your family's response to any of this, if you can even speak on that.
I can't.
Okay, that makes sense.
I know me
I
and him have
appreciate.
had discussions about it, and he has said that, this is how he makes his living. He does, he does have, just as everyone else has issues.
Amen.
Well, online he
know.
said that he doesn't have family, and the other day he was on live. I don't know if he was really doing it, but he was trying to reach out to her sister or something.
Yes,
So
he has.
here's
He
where the
has
problem
sister.
lies for me. So he's very inconsistent. One day he'll say he doesn't have family. The next day he'll say he has family.
Yeah.
Another thing is that he constantly is on here saying, "Oh, I need money. I need money." Well, if he has family in his hometown, why is he not coming towards his family? Why is he coming towards these innocent people that have no clue what they're donating their money to? And
Yeah,
causing
that I couldn't
this big
explain.
scene.
That I couldn't explain.
And I'm not
Family
trying to be
members.
disrespectful towards you. Like, let me just make that clear, Boogie. I have no disrespect towards you. I have disrespect towards Nick and everything that he is doing to these poor children and adults on this app.
Right.
Boogie, I want to tell you something. Listen, I have children with my ex narcissistic abuser, and they have varying opinions on their father. Okay. And
Right.
I don't try to sway their opinion one way or another. It is what it is. And I
No, and
allow
that's
them
not.
to make their own decisions. So I just want you to understand, I don't think any of us on this panel are trying to sway you one way or another. He's your family member. Of course you love him. I get that. I
And
get that.
I get that totally. I understand that. But it is a little harsh when you decide to wind down at night and bam, here's your family member being bashed all over by people that doesn't really know him. Y'all know him through
TikTok.
Yeah, that's hard. I can understand your perspective. I just want you to understand.
But I am
From-
sorry that you had to go through all that.
Well, I
We know
appreciate that,
him through
Boogie.
the image that he's made for us. Sorry, let me just make that clear. We know him through the image that he has provided on social media to all of us.
Right.
So if he wants us to know the real him, then he needs to be the real him.
Right.
And he would probably make more money if he was just chill in his real self, to be honest.
Yeah, I
He
agree.
is when he's sober. When he's sober, he is a lot calmer.
Like,
But Boogie-
genuinely, I know that stuff will mess somebody up, but like as a family member, you are trying to wind down in bed, like you said, and as easy as it was for you to come in here. I mean, if it's hard for you to watch, we're just spreading awareness. We're not trying to be mean. We're not trying to be hateful. We're doing to him what he does to all these people. He constantly is begging these people for money. We're not begging people for money. We're begging people for the realization that this man is not a good person on this app. We're not saying in person. He can be a whole different person in person, but on this app, he is no good.
And you know
Yes,
what,
but do
Boogie?
you realize that you bringing more attention to him is putting him out there even more?
It's not though, Boogie. Actually, if you want to look on Reddit, you can see all the hate that he has on him. It doesn't help him one bit.
Yeah, but that's what
But
brings
that's not
most
what
of
she's
his
saying.
attention.
But Boogie, here's the thing I wanted to say to you, and I want you to understand that I watched him for a long time, you know, kind of just in the peripheral, in the background. I didn't comment in his lives. I've not made videos. This is the first time I've ever spoken out, other than thinking about it inside my own head. Okay, so I'm not some I've not posted on Reddit. I've not gone over there to read the stuff. I've just have the viewpoint of what he presents here on TikTok. And what I want you to understand is that it's what I tried to tell my kids from the time they were really little, is the scary man hiding in the bushes isn't always scary. Sometimes they're very charming, and they're usually somebody that you know, right?
You're right.
He has some real issues. And a lot of times in relationships like this, whether it's a family relationship or a romantic relationship, it is the people that run around trying to defend them and why this behavior is okay that allows it to continue.
I agree with you. I do.
And I'd like to say something. Coming from knowing people who suffer from addiction and going to Al-Anon meetings, they teach you can love them. You can let them know that you love them. You could listen to them. You could talk to them. So long as you're not enabling them. They tell you, don't give them money. Don't enable them. Don't give them a place to live. Let them hit rock bottom. But many families will still talk to them, let them know that they're loved, and stuff like that.
And that's
For people to
that's all you
think,
can do.
for people to think that the family, what do you expect them to do? I mean, I'm sure she's not saying, hey, come over, I got $20 for you. Or
No.
because she's doing the right things that any Al-Anon meeting will teach you to do. The last thing they want these addicts to think is that their family doesn't love them. It's called tough love.
You're right. You are exactly right. Well, guys, I didn't mean to be on here this long.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I did want, like I said, I understand y'all's point of view too. I just wanted to comment to understand that, there are a family that's listening. So, but I'm out of here. You guys have a good night.
Well, Boogie, it was nice to meet you, and I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you loving your family member. Please don't think that we're trying to encourage you to do anything different.
No, I don't.
You're not my prayers. I can promise you that, Boogie. And I commend you for coming up and speaking up. Thank you very much.
No, thank you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Watching the family members that go through this on the outside is the most heartbreaking part of all of this.
She just wants to help him. That's all she wants.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's sad.
So I just came into this. I've been working all day and night. I wasn't really familiar. I watched his TikToks just now. I've heard bits and pieces from the live that I could read. I really see him. I don't see him as a bad person at all. I think he's really caught up in addiction. I think he's in a codependent relationship with someone else who's in addiction. I think that he's not going to want to tell his family and ask his family for help. I think TikTok is enabling him. I think it's going to take him to get to his rock bottom or for intervention to get him help right now. He has the wisdom and knowledge of what sobriety is and what it takes, but he needs to follow that in his life. I really feel bad for him, and I think he's struggling with a lot of things that he just really can't even talk about on TikTok or even to people he knows.
Well, I think these platforms are a breeding ground for people like him. And I think it's getting worse. It's getting more toxic, and we're seeing more and more of them. And I think we're going to continue to see more and more people like this. So don't let your empathy, is all I'm saying, take
It's not
over your
empathy.
common
I've like
sense.
known addiction. Like it's been part of my life. Like just having family members and everything. I think it's a platform where he feels like he can talk, but maybe he's not always in the right mind to talk.
The
But if
problem.
he's done a lot of these horrible things, you know, like, did he beat up a girlfriend or an
Strangled
ex-girlfriend?
her. Here, he strangled her.
Okay, so he strangled her, and
These
what
are
I've
things
seen
I
in these
don't know.
comments just listening is, oh, if he gets help, I'll support him.
These are
So what
absolute
does that
comments
mean? Like,
and things I don't know.
I'm if he goes into whatever he needs to go into, I'll support him as long as he gets help. It doesn't matter if he strangled someone or not. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man. It doesn't matter if he strangled them. As long as he gets into anger management and gets sober, then I'll support him. Because I've seen a
He
lot of
just got out
comments
of
going, if
rehab.
he gets better, I'll support him. What does better
But wait
mean?
a minute.
That's mind blowing to me.
For those of you who don't know, he was in rehab. I believe he got out in June. Am I right?
Yes.
And he went right back.
Yep.
Well,
Right
that's
back
my
to
point. And I'm seeing all these comments. If he gets better, I'll support
He
him.
needs 6 months to a year rehab, not
Yep.
just.
So what does that mean though? Like he gets, oh, so fine. Let's just say he's 3 years sober, goes through rehab. He strangled someone, whatever. So I'll support him when he gets better. But that's what I'm
Well,
trying to
that's like
understand.
a
What's
dual
better?
diagnosis, and he needs treatment for just more than alcoholism or addiction, whatever his choice is. Like, there's other issues that he needs to have treatment for with that happening.
He needs the NA/psychological in one shot. And he's only done rehab, and he probably did it because he had to, not because he wanted to. I think he was speaking about a domestic violence with whoever, probably Mariah, and then they both went into rehab. And I
That's
believe
what I'm
in
saying.
June.
If it's not court ordered or his family can't sign a whatever law in that state to get him treatment, if he doesn't, he's gonna have to hit rock bottom to get better.
Yep.
I guess I just struggled to get behind his aunt saying that this is all an act. Like, if it was an act, how are you putting yourself in the hospital? That just still has me so baffled.
I'm new
No,
to
I don't
this, and
think
I
she
just
meant
watch
what
his
you think.
videos, and it's not an act. Like, he definitely
No.
is struggling in addiction.
This is not an act.
No, literally, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way this is an act. This is like truly what he struggles with on a day-to-day basis. And like, I genuinely wish that as like a gracious human being, I wish I could help him, you know? Like, all of us, I'm sure we wish we could help him. But there's not, you can't help somebody that doesn't want help.
No,
And that's just how it is.
Besides addiction, I just see like a lot of whatever mental health issues. Like I said, dual diagnosis. He really needs that, like in a treatment center. But
And
it's
like,
not going to happen unless something extreme happens or he's forced.
Well,
to
it seems like a lot of extreme stuff has happened. As I'm learning about him, you guys are talking about him.
Yeah, it has.
My
been
whole
here.
point again is, oh, it feels like some people are saying, just in the comments or in general, oh, we'll support him as long as he gets help. It's fine. He'll see his ways why he strangled so and so. Like, to me, that it's a total red flag. I'm like, was he sober when he strangled her?
And that's like a deeper thing. But I've heard him talk like the treatment words and the treatment way. Like he's absorbed some of this.
Hey, honey, sorry to break this to you, but your brother just died in a car crash. He was hit by a Tesla in oncoming traffic.
What?
what?
Troll.
Yeah.
I was about to say, what?
That shocked my heart.
Yeah, that, like, wow.
That was a troll.
So,
Yeah.
again, supporting this person, when does the support start and end?
I mean,
When
isn't
is
The
it
he
only
okay?
support to help him right now is to get him into a treatment facility to save himself from himself and like other people around him.
You know, growing up, my mom always told me that I was fighting that I was my own enemy and I was fighting myself, and that's quite literally what he's going through.
He's struggling and going through a really tough time, I can tell that. And he's not totally a bad person, you know, and there's so
I
much
mean,
I still don't know, but there needs to be an intervention right now. This can't carry on TikTok and have him feel
is
like
this
acclimated
is
for
this
his
not rock
behavior.
bottom though?
Nope.
Hey,
Rock
Jen.
bottom has a basement too, truthfully.
Rock
Like,
bottom is way worse
Well,
than
true.
what he thought.
Hey, Jen. The side
Yeah.
that you're seeing right now is because his girlfriend just took him back. Once they're
Yep. And see,
together,
that's where the codependent abusive relationship, and
yep.
I saw in his TikTok that they both just came out of treatment and they're sitting by each other. You go to treatment, you're not supposed to be in a relationship for a year. And it's toxic what they're doing.
they've been on and off for longer than I can remember, to be honest.
Yeah, but they need like at least that year apart. Like there's no way they're gonna get healthy together. You can't go to treatment and get healthy together, especially when they've been in a relationship and been toxic together.
I'm
There's
sorry.
just absolutely no way.
I
They
could
have
have
to
some,
get healthy on their own.
I could have some sympathy for him if I thought this was just an addiction issue, but I don't think it's just an addiction issue. I think there's a lot more going on here. I have absolutely no sympathy for him whatsoever at all. And I believe that the internet, quote, help is the worst thing for him. We all need to mind our own business and just let him go do his thing. And ghosting him completely would be the best thing everybody could do.
Well, he's making this all our business, but would you tell me like what things we should be aware of or what is not an addiction with him? Just so I know, because I really don't know.
Well, first of all, none of us are minding our business right now.
No, none of
Right.
us know how to do that.
Just to keep that straight, we are all up in his business. So
Well,
number
that's
one,
true
we
here,
are not
Jackie.
minding our
He did
business.
our
I will
business and we're
first,
all up in it.
as soon as I heard that, sorry sis,
Which
I'm
is
like,
why I
girl,
was
no.
a little worried about even coming up here and speaking my mind because
Exactly. We're
I'm
not
really
minding our
cautious
business.
about this kind of
That's
stuff.
what we're here
Yeah.
for.
Are we promoting it? No, not really, but in a way, yes. But it's more awareness. I get it. And that's what I'm saying is I feel since I started just watching was the mixed feelings of no, he just needs to get help. It's fine. And then in my head, I'm like, he strangled someone. Okay, but as long as he's sober, then all of us give him a pass. So
No,
that's
and
where I'm
see,
trying to figure out where
I'm
where
not
the
giving him a
water's
pass at all. I've been through domestic violence. I had a traumatic brain injury because of it, so I'm not giving him a pass.
No,
I'm just
didn't
trying
say
to
you
figure
were.
out
I'm just
where
saying in
he is in
general.
addiction.
That's where it feels like we're
And
going is we're giving him a
yeah,
pass.
there's
As
no
long as he gets
excuse
help,
in
it's
any
fine.
of
And then the
this.
other half is like, no, don't.
There's no excuse for any of this, but what's it going to take to get him rehabilitated, I guess is what I'm asking.
Everybody gotta report him and get him off TikTok. That's what's gonna make him have no choice.
That
The
makes
only
sense.
unfortunates behind that, Willow, is he's made how many counts now?
And he'll continue to keep making the accounts.
And we
I
can't
think
act
that
like he's
you
just
report the
crazy.
payment.
He's literally an addict. Like, he doesn't think the same as like he usually or we usually would.
And I've
Like he's
also
sitting here on
seen
TikTok high on drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
I've also seen in the comments here that people are saying, "Oh well, he's just doing this because he's bored." If you're bored, go play some basketball.
He's not bored. He is not okay. He
They're
mentally
stupid.
with
Yeah.
chemicals is not
There
okay.
feels like there's some mental stuff going on
You think?
with him. And I hope he, I guess, gets help. But will I support him? Like, oh no, he's now nice and sober. Well, I mean, that depends. He strangled someone. He did this. He did that. He seems very chaotic. Which, yes, could that be mentally? But could he come back and create normal, whatever normal is, content, and people support him? Yes, I guess I can see that. Everyone has a
I think right now
pass.
is TikTok needs to be shut down, to be honest.
I mean, to be fair, let's look at all of our. We're gonna call him a panhandler because that's what you would call him, right? He's a beggar. He's begging for money. So, how many people do you scroll through the For You page on live and you see them begging for money? There's at least I can count on myself, which I spend an ungodly amount of time on TikTok. Shame on me. But I'm bored. That's what I do when I'm bored. I don't go on here and abuse people.
Yeah.
I have a
At least
feeling
1,000.
money is
Every other
addiction, and then people are putting
scroll
their
is a
money on
beggar.
this app, and we're just
Unfortunately,
watching
it's all
him
in my
on the level,
algorithm.
and when he goes to him, he's getting more high or more drunk.
I mean, at the end of the day, they literally will, like, I don't know the names. I know the names of some of them, but I really don't care, to be honest. But they will literally sit there with a background that looks like a street, and they will hold a sign that says, need money for rent, or please help, or something. Like, can you not go get a life? I know McDonald's is
They just say, oh, well, they were depressed. They were depressed. Who gives a shit? Get the fuck outside and do something.
Whoa.
If one of my kids ever told me they were depressed, I would tell them to get a hobby. No, actually, I would put them outside.
Is that Natasha? That's Natasha Cooper said that.
What
I'm
was
not
that
even
about?
kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Literally Natasha Cooper,
I
but
can't stand her. Oh my god.
literally that was her.
Well,
but
I don't know what to
think
call
if
you
they
other
put
than
him
Red Heart.
outside, that it would like hear what he has going on. Like, he needs to be cut off TikTok. Like, his family needs to intervene. I know he's not gonna want to like go to his family. He's gonna avoid him like all hell. He feels more comfortable
That was
going
so
to
funny.
theaters, obviously. Sorry.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing. Oh my god.
Stop.
I can't
They're
stand
laughing.
Natasha
They're not laughing
Cooper.
at you, Jen.
No, I know. I'm trying to distract from that. It's like decoupage on recovery. So, like, literally, he needs to be off of TikTok. He needs to not be with Mariah. They need to be separate. They need to recover separate.
I thought for a while that we had gotten lucky.
Yes, hour.
I thought that for a while we had gotten lucky in that he was off of TikTok, but it turns out he was just in rehab.
He needs like more than a small amount of time in rehab. He needs months, and not just rehab, but
All
like
right,
I said,
y'all.
like
I don't know. I've got to cut it off for the night. So if you're new, drop a follow, and we'll pick up on this later. Now, join the link in my bio has a link to the Discord. Y'all could join the Discord if we want to keep this conversation going via text. And if anything interesting happens with this, I might host a panel again and talk about it. But I do want to say the only reason I hosted this panel was because I just found out about him when he came to New Orleans, and I wanted to hear what all the people who've been following him for years had to say.
yeah, this
So I
blew up.
appreciate
Like
y'all for joining up.
That's my girl.
Good
That's my
night.
Def guy.
All right.
Ethan,
Good
I
night, y'all.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. No, it was very
Yeah, thank y'all
informative.
for
Thank you.
Thank you for making a
Good night,
safe
everybody.
space.
Yes, thank you, Ethan. I'll